Hi, hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to today's stream. So today date is June 17, 2019, and we are looking Flutter and Chirp SDK for last couple of streams, right? So we have developed a solution, and that solution has like two components. One is a Flutter application, and another one is the Python library, right? So the Flutter application that has a list of developer brand colors. What I mean by developer brand color is like if you take any brands that's associated with the developer, for example Angular, React, VS Code. So there are like a lot of tools that is associated with the developers. So I have taken a developer brand and its primary color in the logo. For example, Angular red, React blue, Vue green, Chirp yellow, and there are like a more colors we can add, like for example Twitch purple. So we can add like those kind of colors. So the idea of the application is using the Chirp SDK we can transmit the data over audio signal. So the mobile application, so whenever I'm clicking one of these color buttons or color list view items, it's going to send the data through the audio signal. So you should be hearing some audio signal like robotic sound, right? Then we are having another program, a Python program that's running on the MacBook Pro. So it's going to listen to that audio and extract the data, and it called the Flips Hue Bridge API to set the color of the light bulb. So this is a solution we have worked so far. Probably I should be changing. See now. So I have completed I have pushed the repository, as well as I have write a blog also. Probably I would share both the links in the chat. So the repository link is here, Chirp Flutter dev colors. So here I have added the readme. So this is the repository what we have worked on like for last couple of streams. So I have added like the video of the stream also. So here I have added the readme, like how to run and what this solution is doing, and a demo that's including like our Twitch stream video. So I have added this repository. I will share that link in chat, and also I have written a blog post around it. So if you go to the dashboard, yeah, this is a blog post I have written on this one, like how the demo works and what are the how the code. I just explained like the main integration of the code, the main logic of the code, basically like how we can set up the Chirp SDK, how we can configure it, and how I'm calling the Flips Hue API in the Python. So those are the things I have added so far. So probably I would be sharing it. I'm like sharing this link as well. So this is a link we have used. I have used for like a blogging this solution. So before running that, let's run the demo to make sure like everything is working fine, right? So let me go to Python. Okay, 1 second. And I have removed that the user ID and all, because I just committed into this repository. Let me update that. So I need to update the IP address here. Give me a second, let me update. So this IP address is my Flips Hue Bridge API IP address. So IP address is 192. Oh, the IP address got changed, and there is a user ID. I hope there should be user ID. I don't know. Let's try that one. This is the debug tool for Flips Hue Bridge API. So in this one you can use it's not 13, it's 5. Okay, so there should be some user ID. I forgot what's a user ID is. Let's generate a new user ID. Developers dot yeah, this part we have done. There is a /API/new developer. Okay, so I'm creating like a new user ID because I forgot the previous user ID. It says API/new developer get only, right? Okay, now I have to post it. That's giving. I already have the user. I need like a list of users. I forget the user ID. Did he know? Did I put it somewhere in my notes or something? Yeah, I'm just looking like my Flips Hue. Otherwise, what I need to do is I need to go and press the button. Let's see. So what it's saying /API. This is how we can generate a new user. We already have the user, so let me see whether it's in my history or something. Oh, definitely, yeah, it's in another repository. Give me a second, I will just pull that so that we can reuse that existing user instead of creating the new user. Creating new user is like a two-step process. I need to post a username or post a authentication call. Then I need to go to the bridge, Hue bridge, and press the button so that it knows it's coming from the nearby resource. Then it's linked that user with that particular device. So that's what it's like another two-step process. Now I'm just looking we have written a similar code before. Let me look at that. What's that? It's IoT on the air light. Okay, here I have that username. So let's put that username here. Then you can see like it has the lights. It's listing out the lights, and the light is off right now. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to copy this user ID and paste it in the Python SDK code. So here I am passing this user ID, and our light ID is 2, and we are just setting up the state. So I need to switch on this light. So I'm going to switch on this light here. So you can see like the light is switched on. Now I'm going to run this Python program. Okay, so here I'm going to run Python index.py. So it's going to listen the audio. That's the first part, and also it's connecting with the Flip's Hue Bridge API. So whenever I'm sending an audio from my Flutter application here, then you should be hearing an audio signal, and that audio signal is like received, and the data is extracted. So let me open my Flutter application, what we have developed so far. You should be seeing like it's having Angular red, React blue, Vue green, and chip yellow. I'm going to press Vue green. Oh, it says light ID is not defined. Let me stop this and run the program. Oh, light ID is here. So it should be self.light ID. Okay, now it's running. Let's click the Vue green. Then it received the hex value, and it's setting the light bulb to the Vue green. Now I'm pressing React blue. It set the blue color, and clicking chirp yellow, that's setting the yellow color. Now back to Angular red. So it's setting the red color now. So there are like a future plans. What I'm just thinking, like instead of like the hard-coded color values in the mobile application, I'm just thinking like let's pull that from the Firebase, and also I'm just going to integrate with the GitHub, so you can like drive that what are the color it needs to be listed. What I'm going to do is like integrate with the GitHub action. So whenever there is a new pull request with the type like add color or something like that, then it's going to trigger the action, get the approval from code contributors, including me. Probably I would be adding like someone else in later in future. So they will give the approval, and once it's approved, then what it's going to do is it's going to add that the text value and what is the hex value of that particular dev brand. It's going to add that in the Firebase collection, and once it's added in the Firebase collection, it would be immediately reflected in the application. So that's a feature plan I am having on this one. And also from the Python side, instead of Python, I'm trying to develop the ARM solution. So let me open the GitHub issue. You can understand like what I'm trying to say there. So I have added like a couple of tasks here. So the first thing, we are going to set up the CI/CD with the CodeMagic, and second stuff, we are going to develop a ARM solution. That means like we are going to run this on Raspberry Pi or MX chip or any other like the ARM devices, right? And the second thing, integrate Firebase to update the dev brand colors. So this is where like we are going to use the GitHub actions. So whenever you are creating a pull request, it's going to trigger the action for approval, and once they approved, it's going to add that in Firebase. Then that will be immediately reflected in that application mobile app. So that's a plan we are going to have, right? So today what we are going to do is, today we are going to set up the CI/CD with the CodeMagic. CodeMagic is nothing but a CI/CD specifically built for Flutter, right? Like a Jenkins and other build tool. This one is like specifically like a specially built for Flutter. Why I am saying like a specially built for Flutter is like all the tools and the steps is like completely customized for Flutter mobile and the web applications. One of the example is like if you are setting up in like any of the CI/CD solution or custom solutions, you would be setting up like downloading the Flutter and installing the Flutter. So there are like a lot of these kind of installation and setting up, because every build is going to build on a new virtual machine, right? So we need to install all this stuff. But in the CodeMagic, they are customizing all, and in every project you can build it like very quick, and all the Flutter related tool, everything is like by default coming in part of this pipeline image. And also like you can add like a secret files, you can deploy that in the deploy the artifacts. So it's like a completely customized for mobile application, specifically for Flutter. So today we are going to see that like how CodeMagic works, and we are going to integrate our repository into the CodeMagic. So today probably it would be a short stream, but we would be looking like the CodeMagic and how everything works, right? So that's a plan we are going to have today. So let me open the CodeMagic. Probably I would share that link as well. So the first thing, we would look at this pricing model. They are calculating as like a build time. For example, if you are building one application, let's say like that's taking 5 minutes for build, right? Then they are giving like free for 500 build minutes. That means like if one of my build is taking like a 5 or 10 minutes, let's say like 10 minutes, right? Then I can do like 50 build per month. And for additional build minutes, you can purchase it like $19 US, and this is for like if you are creating a team of members who are managing this build. At least for like these kind of small projects, this is enough, because we are not going to do like more than 50 build per month or something like that, right? And also they are very, very supportive. In fact, like they have they have supporting like the open source project, and they are closely working with the Flutter community. They are building like a list of developers who are contributing to Flutter, and if you read their blogs, some of the Flutter related information, they are like more informative and very helpful to us. So that's like the overall thing. Now let's start with like as a simple integration, basically like our project. They have already provided the login mechanism with like a GitHub, Bitbucket or GitLab, the popular repository. Now our repository code is in GitHub, so let's log in with the GitHub. I have already integrated this CE/CD for one of our Flutter application, Dev Emotion Tracker. We have developed this on like in this stream. At the time we have integrated the CodeMagic. So this time I'm going to like do the same thing again, because there are a lot of new things introduced in this CodeMagic. Yeah, Dev Emotion Tracker we have done like 3 months ago. So this is our repository. So if you log in to this CodeMagic, they have this list of GitHub repository because you already logged in, so they are pulling like a list of repository from there. And also they are showing like the Flutter logo, because they have identified these are the repositories that is having a Flutter code. Right. So I'm going to select this chip Flutter dev colors. I can configure, so let's see like what are the customization option we are having, right? So I'm clicking this gear button to set up this new workflow. So this is our chip Flutter dev colors repo, and in the settings you can see here like they have this default workflow, right? So let's say like a master. So we are having like a master workflow. So the first thing, what's going to trigger the build, right? So let's set up the automatic build trigger on every push. So let me save that. But make sure like if you are like focusing on the build minutes, this would be like this would exceed your build minutes. So if you want to do like the manual build, then make sure you are doing the manual build. Right now I'm just going to configure because I have like a control over the push. Then the environment variables, you can add like the environment variables that is required for the application, right? For example, if we are integrating the Firebase, then we need to add like a Google service info plist or Google service the JSON file for Android. Then what you need to do is you need to add this variable name and the variable value. If it is secure, then you can just like click the secure. So you can add like any number of environment variables based on like what your app requires, right? Now we don't have any environment variables so far, but if we are integrating like a Firebase application later, at the time we need an environment variable. So at the time like we would be adding like Firebase key or something like that, so that it would be used when we are integrating with the Firebase. And they have this dependency caching. So if you want to like speed up the builds, if you want to cache these dependencies, then you can enable the dependency caching and provide like what is folder you need to cache, right? So right now I'm just going to skip that to not complicate more, but this is like one of the things useful when you are looking for like a frequent build but you want to like a cache the dependency, right? So that would be the on stuff. And you can add like more custom steps if you want, like a post clone script, pre-test script, and if you are clicking here, then it's like post test script and pre-build script. So you can add like a different lifecycle scripts over here in this CodeMagic. And for the test, Flutter already have like Flutter analyze and the Flutter test. So let me enable the Flutter test right now and save it. So this would be like running the Flutter test. And on the build, we are choosing the Flutter version. You know, like Flutter has different channels, including like stable, master, beta, dev, and you can specify like the certain version of the Flutter also. Now we are going to select like a channel stable, and we are going to build the platform Android and iOS. Okay. And the next thing, like whether mode is debug, release, or profile. So if you're releasing for like a production version, then you can choose a release. Right now I'm going to select like debug. And what is the Xcode version it should be run for, and the different arguments if you are building like a Android, iOS, and also the web version. So I think this is fine. And in the publish, you can do like both Android code signing and iOS code signing. Right now like we are using in the debug mode, but if you want to like do the release management stuff, you can upload the key store file and key store password in the Android code signing, and also like in the iOS code signing you can upload like the code signing certificate and the provisioning profile. Even you can choose like the automatic provisioning, but you need to provide like your Apple ID and password and what are the provisioning profile type you are going to choose. So this is like useful when you are like trying to build the release type. Right now we are going to build only debug mode, but if you are going to publish this into like a app store, or if you want to install this in like a device for beta testing or something like that, then you need to do the code signing. So you can configure those details here, right? And once that publish is done, you can like set up the notification channel either through email or Slack. And also they are building up the CodeMagic static pages. So this is just to like creating the static pages to host your Flutter application. So let me choose something. Chat Flutter. What's our application name? Dev colors. So I'm just like creating some web page subdomain to see like how this is working. And also you can like connect with the Google Play and connect with App Store Connect if you want to deploy it like directly. So you can set up like a multiple workflow here for a single repository, including like a master or dev or production or release. So you can set up even like in release you can set up like a beta or production. So you can configure this workflow based on your need. So we don't need this one, and I think this is fine. So now we can like start the new build here, and selecting the branch and starting new build. Probably it would be taking like 6 or 7 minutes based on the things I have seen so far. It's taking like some time on installing the dependencies and also like building the iOS and Android application. So those are the 3 steps it's taking like time, because anyhow like it need the compilation packages and all, right? So it's like preparing the build machine and like cloning our repository, installing the dependency and running the Flutter test, and it's building the Android application, building the iOS application, and once everything is done, it's collecting all the artifacts and created the artifacts there. And also we can set up like a Slack notification or the email notification. Once this is done, then probably like next time you would try that notification feature. Yeah, installing dependency, that would be taking like a little bit time. I'm just thinking of like the different brand colors like Android, even like a Flutter has like that blue color, right? So I need to find like the hex value for different brands and add that in the Firebase. So probably like let's do that on next stream, or if we have like a time today, we would integrate this into the Firebase and set up the GitHub actions on like on the next stream. Okay, it's done with installing dependencies. It's running the test. We can go and like see what it's doing here, right? You can see like it's initializing the sandbox and what dot version, those kind of details. So this is just like cloning our repository. This is like downloading the dependencies. Did you remember like we have added the simple permissions and chip SDK dependency? So it's downloading those dependencies here. It's running the test. I have added like a couple of tests on the assert statement. So it's tested those stuff. Okay, in the Flutter we can add like a UI test. So in the UI test I have added in the way like whether it has Angular text element or not, whether it has React text element or not. So it's running those tests like in the UI here, and it's building the Android application. So this is definitely going to take some time. They have like the configuration tips as well. Let's see. And also like we need to plan for like the chip SDK explorations, like a ticketing system or some other real-time use cases on the IoT devices. So let's come up with some real-time use case and integrate with that. Initially I thought of like creating the conference attendance system. So probably I need to do like some more grooming on that, and let's do the development on the stream. Okay, the Android application build is done, and it's created the app debug.api because we are just like the mode is like a debug. If the mode is released, then it's going to build in the release configuration, and finally we need to do the code signing. Takes like 2 minutes 26 seconds. Yeah, that's fine. So hopefully iOS also would be taking like similar time. So totally it's taking like around let's say like 9 or 10 minutes, and I have like a 500 build minutes free, and even like if we need, then we need to purchase for like more. Definitely they would be having like more option for open source. Let's see in the future. Okay, the iOS application is done. It take 1 minute 46 seconds, and it's published artifacts as well, right? So if I click this, I got the email notification here. So let's go to the builds, and if you see here, okay, the zoom is like happening. Okay, so here you can see like there is a download button. So this is where like your artifacts of your build is published. So you can download like the runner.app and app.apk, appdebug.apk. These are like unsigned. If you sign this, if you do the code signing, then you will be getting like the IPA and other APK files, right? And also if you go there, then you can see like the number of builds here. So let's go back to the settings again, and we have configured this CodeMagic static pages. So let's see like whether they're having this one. .CodeMagic.app, right? Oh, do I need to index.html? What is this? Definitely it's going to this, but the index.html that says not found. Let's try with the app.apk, right? What is oh, I don't know why. Let's shift flutter dev colors .codemagic.app, right? I don't know why that's happening. Okay, let's check with the team. And if you go to this shift flutter dev colors, and you can go to this settings, they are providing the status badge as well, right? So here is a build status badge. So if you click this one, you can either copy this or you can copy this markdown file. So let's add that in our repository so that we are seeing like this is managed by the CodeMagic, and we can see the build status in the readme itself, right? Before that, one thing I need to do, I don't need to like automatically trigger the build. So let me disable that. Okay, now I'm going to this readme and add this build status. And committing these changes here. So now if I go to this repository, you can see like how the CE/CD setup here and what is the status of that lost build, right? So you can see this one. And the other thing I need to test is, yeah, that's what like I thought of testing this CodeMagic static pages. but I got like the key not found. Let's see that. And also like I can connect with the Slack so that it would be sending the notification in the Slack. That's cool. Okay, I think today we have did so far. So I'm going to close the issue here. Set up CD with the CodeMagic. CodeMagic and build status batch is updated in Markdown. Okay, so I have closed the issue, and since everything is like managed in the GitHub task, it should be moved to the done lane, right? Okay, so the next thing what we need to do is we need to integrate the Firebase, and then we need to develop the ARM solution. So these are the two things we would probably see that in like our feature stream. So as a closing note, today we have integrated our chip Flutter dev colors repository by setting up the CI/CD with the CodeMagic.io, and CodeMagic.io is like a CI/CD tool specifically built for Flutter application. So we have set up the workflow. So that workflow is like fetching up the code and installing the dependencies, running the Flutter test, and building the iOS and Android application. And also it sends a notification to email, Slack. We can configure for like a multiple notification source. And also we have seen like what are the different life cycle of these build steps, and how we can add like a custom scripts and all. So those are the things we have seen, and we have integrated our chip Flutter dev colors repository successfully into this CodeMagic. So that's good stuff for like today's stream, and we would see the remaining things, adding more colors to this application, and also what are the other things, and also like building the ARM solution for the chip SDK. So those stuff we would be seeing, we will see in like in next streams. And thanks for coming and watching. If anyone get a chance to watch this video later, I really appreciate that, and please come and follow, and we would be learn together on this stuff. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye.